Mhm. Dr. Harper, we're good to go.
Okay, well, good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Harper, the eighth grade assistant principal, and the topic of today's principal's coffee is on eighth grade activities. So I'm just going to kind of go over what the planned activities are for this school year, and then entertain any questions that you may have. So this slide has information on Go Team, PTO, the boosters, and the David T. Howard Foundation. If you are not a member of these, please go ahead and scan the QR codes so that you can join and help support the school.
Dr. Harper, if you can pause for a second in case any of them wanted to speak.
Good morning. Melissa Hawkins on behalf of the foundation. And I think I saw Megan here for
PTO. I'm here.
They're awesome. Just thanking everybody for those who donated for the donor party. Very exciting event. It's not too late to still support. And we look forward to new opportunities to serve the school.
Thanks, Melissa. Megan Grady here from PTO. I just want to remind everyone that next Thursday, the 20th, is our very first Color Fest that the PTO is organizing and throwing the event. There is still time to level up your kids' experience during Color Fest. We're selling color packets on our PTO. It's a PTO fundraiser. And that is all available on our website. I'm going to post everything in the comments. We want you guys to get involved. We want you to come. We want you to celebrate our students, celebrate our school, throw color on our kids, and really make this a day to remember before we break for Thanksgiving break. Again, it is a fundraiser for PTO and all the good work that we are doing. So we hope that you continue to share the buzz with friends, get your kids amped up, and go buy some color.
I just also wanted to add, Megan, thank you to everyone who has donated to the PTO's fundraiser for any families affected by the lapse in SNAP benefits. I think it's safe to say that we've raised $1,000 so far. Is that true, Megan?
Yeah, and we're going to keep that campaign going through the 20th of November. So
And
about another week.
and that was really short notice too. So Howard Rams are really rising up to the occasion. We appreciate you.
Yes, thank you so much. We're going to give that money directly to our student support budget, and Ms. Randolph coordinates that give. So thank you so much.
All right, and so on this screen here, we have some of our field trips per grade level. Several of them have already been completed, and then the others will still take place over the course of the year. Some of the larger field trips are towards the bottom of the slide, where we have the annual eighth grade fine arts department trip to Orlando for eighth graders, and then the eighth grade activities that we will be discussing here on today. And this is just a reminder of all of our CIP goals for the 25-26 school year. For literacy, by spring of 2026, we will increase the percentage of proficient and above learners using the GMAS end of grade and ELA by 5%. And then we will also increase the subgroups of Blacks by 5%. For numeracy, alike, we will increase the percentage of students proficient or above as assessed by the GMAS in math by 5%, and then also increase our subgroup Black by 5%. And then for our whole group, we will increase our CCRPI attendance, or at least have it remain at or above 90% by making sure that we are focused on chronic absenteeism. And that would be as determined by the Georgia DOE. We just want to make sure we don't exceed 10% of the days absent for students during their enrollment period. All right, now let's get into the 8th grade activities for 25-26. We are continuing with what I would consider our traditional activities for the school year. Every year we take feedback from parents and we may make some minor adjustments to the way that we do things, but not necessarily what we do, because what we have done for the past several years has worked very well for 8th graders, and they typically tend to enjoy themselves. Can I get the next slide, please? All right, so here are our planned activities. On May the 14th, we will be traveling to Six Flags. For those students who select Plan A, and we'll go over the plans in just a second. This is a special day for Six Flags. It's not open to the general population. It is considered a physics day, and it's only open to schools. With that being the case, that means the students cannot use their own tickets, their season passes, or anything along those lines. They have to have a specific physics pass to enter the park on this day. Even though it is only open to schools, it is just as busy as a regular day at the park, and lines are exceedingly long sometimes. And the wait time is exceedingly long. So we will get into these activities as we get closer to the activities. I give a little bit more specific information regarding the activities and how to best prepare for the day. The very next day is Friday. So this is the first time that the field trip has ever been on a Thursday. It's always been on a Friday. I'm not sure why Six Flags changed it, but it is Thursday. And one thing I do want to mention is that we come back after the school day ends. So we will ask parents to pick their scholars up by 5 o'clock. We typically get here by 4:30, and that allows them as much time as at the park as possible. The park closes at 4 o'clock on that day, and we want to give kids as much time as possible to enjoy themselves. So we do arrive back after school. We do use chartered transportation. And we do ask parents to pick their scholars up by 5 o'clock on that day. The very next day is our field day, where we are basically outside on the field to engage in field day activities and a picnic. We have a catered lunch on that day, and it's just a lot of fun. The past several years, it's been very hot. So occasionally we will ask for donations of water bottles if we don't have enough, or if we start to run out. If we have a parent that's willing, we may actually just get some water bottles to us real quick. But typically they have a catered lunch that includes entrees, sides, drinks. And we typically also do ice cream for the students on that day. And then it's just a day of fun-filled activities for them. I do want to mention also that the day before Six Flags is the Spring Carnival. So that means that's basically 3 days of outside activities in extended periods for our scholars, for those that choose to do that PBIS Carnival. So we do want to make sure long before those days hit that students are very well hydrated for being in heat for extended hours. The next week we have our 8th grade dance on May the 19th. This is a dance. It is not required that students wear a prom dress or a tuxedo or anything along those lines. They can dress as they like. The students do typically like to dress for the theme, and this year they have voted on Met Gala red carpet as the theme for this year. We use the theme to determine how we will decorate and set up the area for the dance. So again, it is not required that they purchase and or wear prom dresses, tuxedos, suits, anything along those lines. They can come in whatever they would like to come dressed in on that day. The dance starts at 6 o'clock, is normally from like 6 to 8 or 6:30 to 8:30, somewhere around during that time. They cannot stay after school and then go to the dance. They have to leave school. We will allow them to check out early, but not until 12 o'clock They do have to come to school before to be able to participate in the dance. On last year, we allowed checkout for the dance, and it ended up to be a little bit more than we expected. Nearly everyone came to check their scholar out. So we will adjust that process a little bit and do checkout the way that we do checkout on the awards day, where we ask parents to fill out a Google form before that day, upload their ID, let us know they're checking the scholar out. And on that morning, we will give the scholar an armband that releases them to you when you come to pick them up, as opposed to you waiting for 45 minutes to an hour to try to check your scholar out because there are so many other parents doing the same. So we will implement that on this year so that you can quickly get your scholar on that day and go get them ready for the dance. The next day on May the 20th is our movie day, game day, indoor activity. On this day, we just simply do multiple movies or game room activities during the day. Part of the package that they get, we do popcorn or movie type snacks for them on that day. And our parents generally will assist us with that. Then on May the 21st is the main activity. That is the eighth grade award celebration and breakfast. They have a catered breakfast in the morning, and then we go straight into the awards program at around 11 o'clock. And even though it is an awards program, it is formatted like it is a graduation. And so there is a formal roll call that happens at the very beginning of the program when students walk into the gymnasium. And we do typically allow parents to check a student out after the program. Now, this is the one time where we will ask students to dress a certain way. They don't have to wear a certain color unless they want to, but we do ask them to dress for a formal recognition program. This is the one day that we will ask that they not come in slides, flip-flops, ripped up jeans or anything along those lines, because we consider this a very formal recognition program. Now, while all of this is going on, they also will have rehearsals for the program. So the times will vary. Sometimes it'll be in the morning, sometimes it'll be in the afternoon, sometimes it'll be a very long rehearsal, and sometimes it will be a very short rehearsal. We do try to keep the awards program to about an hour and a half. But I would encourage parents, if you are seeking to engage in any activities after the awards program, I would not schedule anything before 2 o'clock, because even after the awards program, even with the kids having the armbands, sometimes they have to go back and grab things before they leave the building, and that does take a little bit longer. So if you are making any plans for after the awards program, I would encourage you to do 2 o'clock or later. And we start the awards program at 11 o'clock. We will open the doors at 10:15. This is a ticketed event. And so each scholar, as of right now, based on the number of students we have in 8th grade, each scholar will get 4 tickets. 4 tickets. Okay, next slide, please. I know this is a lot, so, I am here to answer questions. So wanted to make sure everybody knew what their fees included. If you choose Plan A, which is about $145, let me add that there is a platform fee. That includes your admission to Six Flags, along with transportation for Six Flags to and from. And it includes, we like to go with the package that includes the lunch. It's much easier. So that's $145. Then on the day of the picnic or outdoor activity, it includes that catered lunch. It includes the decorations for the dance and the refreshments, the DJs and all of that. It includes the breakfast the morning of the awards program, and then there's a class t-shirt. Plan B includes everything except Six Flags. So those scholars that do not like large crowds or thrill type of activities, or this is not their groove, we do have in-house activities for them. They stay in the building and they actually get to choose what their activities will be with the staff that stay in the building to host them. but everything else they will get alike. The only way to pay for the activities is via the School Cash Online account. So if you don't already have an account, we certainly suggest that you create an account. However, I will say this, if you go into the School Cash Online, can we go to the next slide? If you go into the School Cash Online account, the best way to pay for the 8th grade fees is to go through the link that I have embedded in the permission slip that was emailed out to parents on October the 31st. This is the same day that we met with all 8th grade students about the activities. There are 3 links on this permission slip. One link is for the 8th grade activities for you to choose your plan and make the payment if you're ready. There is also a link for donations. We have a number of students that will require scholarships to participate in 8th grade activities. We come from a very generous community, so we have never had a student not be able to participate in any activity for that reason. The second link is for the donations, and then there's a third link on here that takes you directly to being able to sign up for the 8th grade Remind. Mostly when I send information out to parents, I'm going to send it through Infinite Campus, but when we're in the moment in activities, I'm going to send it through Remind because I can do that quickly from my phone. So everyone should have received this around October the 31st. If for whatever reason you did not, that could mean that we may not have the correct email for you, or it could mean that you have your email disabled to receive correspondence from the schools. So if that is the case, please make sure to reach out to me because I don't want you to miss any information as the year progresses. We did ask parents to go ahead and send this permission slip back. On the back sheet, you should be able to tear that off. We just need to know whether you want to do plan A or plan B so that we can start planning. I'm sure you can imagine planning these level of activities for these many students it is a lot. And we have to start as early as possible. And the best way for us to be accurate is to know what your intentions are as far as what package you prefer. You don't have to make payment right now. Payment is not due until March, but we at least want to know what your intentions are. All right, next slide.
Right there.
Okay, go back,
Pause,
next
right.
slide.
Yes, thank you. So we do want you to pay as early as possible because we have to put deposits for all of these activities and we can't make deposits if we don't have funding. So please, 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 if you can go ahead and pay, but if you can't, we understand the deadline is what is in the letter. I also want to give some voice because I got an email a couple of days ago, and I'm gonna let Dr. Harper expound on this as far as how your donations are used. So as she said, there are scholarships given to those who need it. We first start with our unhoused students. They are considered first and foremost because we want to make sure that they have the ability to participate in all activities. And as she said, that finances are not a barrier to participate. Then parents are able to alert us if they are having financial difficulties. And students also alert their teachers if they're having financial difficulties. And those students are placed into our list in order for us to ensure that they get said scholarships needed. We have also allocated PTO dollars to help with those scholarships and whatever else parents give. So I don't know if I covered all of the ways that is done. Dr. Harper, you can expound, but that question for specificity of how that's used was asked in email.
Yes. So yes, even the students that get a scholarship, depending on the amount, the way that it is set up is you can either donate for plan A or you can donate for plan B. Most of the students seeking scholarships do want plan A, but we have had a number that that prefer to do plan B as well. And so typically what I do is I call the students in and ask them what their preference is and let them know that they have received a scholarship for the activity so that they don't have to worry about it. That information is located on the second sheet under the deadline for all 8th grade fees, Thursday, March 26th. There's a sentence right under there that says to please contact Mr. Lamb if you have questions or concerns or challenges, because there may be scholarships that are available. And I believe that his email is linked in the letter as well. So anyone inquiring can contact him directly, or you can send your scholar to Mr. Lamb to talk to him about a possible scholarship for the 8th grade activities. Did I miss any questions?
Dr. Harper, there's a question. Is there a way to give a partial contribution, so just a flat contribution to the scholarship fund?
It is. And so if a parent will let us know what they would like to contribute, we will create an individual link for them and send that out to them. Now, I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but I want to make sure that everyone knows that there is a platform fee for these activities that goes to School Cash Online and not the school. So once you go in, it may read like, if it's plan A that you're selecting, it may read 151 and not 145. So I just want to make sure parents are aware of that. All right, next slide. All right, we also met with students regarding the criteria to be able to participate in these activities. In 8th grade, we will always keep the main thing the main thing. Our job here is to make sure that they are ready for 9th grade, both academically and socially. And so we do hold them accountable for academics and their behavior. So in January, which is typically what we do, we start with what we call our active activity period. That means that violations of the code of conduct, not really the little ones, but major violations of the code of conduct could impact your ability to participate in some of the 8th grade activities. So if a student receives out of school suspension or the At Promise Center, these would be more egregious types of violations that would warrant, according to our code of conduct, you having a consequence of out of school suspension. If you receive 3 or more office referrals, that could impact your ability to participate in 8th grade activities. Now, I purposely put cell phone on here because 90% of the referrals that I am receiving in 8th grade are for cell phone violations. Simply having the cell phone on your person is a violation. So the students, our policy is away for the day. So the cell phone should be in their locker. Or if it is the last period of the day where they have collected their things for the day, it should be in their book bag. But by overwhelmingly difference in the violations that I'm seeing in 8th grade, the cell phone is the main one. If you receive 2 or more days of in-school detention, in-school suspension, detention, Saturday school for behavior, because we also have Saturday school for academics, that could impact your behavior. And then if you receive 5 love notices, that could impact your ability to participate. So a love notice, for parents that may not know, is a level 1 violation. These are very minor violations. So this is almost like a warning system for students. We've been using this for years. We've been using love notices all year long as well. So what we do before this starts on January the 6th is we do a mock run of how this works for students. We started that mock run last week. So every Friday, can I go to the next slide? Oh, go to the next slide. Sorry. So, oh, I must not have put it in here. So every Friday, I issue something called an activity eligibility notification, to scholars who have received one of those violations. And so it is like a tracking method for me to keep up with who has violated the APS code of conduct, as well as making sure the students are aware of where they stand as far as being eligible. So if a student does not receive a referral, a love notice, or anything along those lines during the course of that week, they will not receive any type of notice. But if they are, they will. And this is just a way for them to track and to hopefully start thinking about some of the decisions that they are making so that it does not ultimately impact their ability to participate in 8th grade activities. So we do this mock run from the day that we meet with students about 8th grade activities, which was October 31st, until the end of this semester. So they will have approximately 6 to 7 weeks of what we call a dry run of what it will look like before it actually counts. So when they come back in January, everything is wiped clean and we start the process over. But at that point, it could possibly impact their 8th grade activities. One thing I do want to point out is that I will send this permission slip and information out at least once a month up until we get closer to March, where we will go and start sending it out once a week. It is meant to be a reminder for everyone to make sure you've gotten your permission slip in and to make sure that you've paid your fees. Do not pay fees again if you have already paid and received your receipt, because we absolutely will have it. But I have had parents to see the notice again and think that that meant that they did not pay their fees and they paid a second time, and we have to go through the process to issue them a refund. I also want parents to be cautious about making sure that their scholar's name appears on the form and not your name. If you don't unclick the button that says myself, it's going to automatically assign it to you, the parent. So please unclick the button that says myself and make sure that you actually put your scholar's name in there before you go to the card and pay. Same thing for the donations. It doesn't really matter what name you put in donations, but I prefer that you write in donation so that we know it's a donation. And please be careful of the link, because it's 2 separate links. We have had parents in the past to pay on the donation link and not the regular link, and it just got all confusing. But we were able to shift it, but it's like 2 separate pots. So we just want to make sure to keep them separated. I think that's all I have for 8th grade activities, and I can answer any questions if anyone has any. Here is our contact information for myself, Ms. Williams, the counselor, and Mr. Lamb, our grade level lead, in the event that you all need to contact us about 8th grade activities or anything 8th grade related.
I do want you to point out that you will have a remind for 8th grade parents as well. You want to speak to that?
Yes, the remind is embedded in the letter. It actually, if you click the link, it'll take you directly to the remind so that you can sign up. Again, I use that for in the moment notifications most of the time, because only maybe about a third of the parents typically sign up for the remind. Most of the time, I'm going to send major information via Infinite Campus Messenger. So please, if you have not received any emails from me that are automated from Infinite Campus, that means we don't have your correct information. So please let me know so we can get that fixed so you don't miss any information. But I do ask you to sign up for the remind as well, because I will communicate using remind and for a lot of in the moment situations.
And I also want to point out, it might not be we have your incorrect information. You might be blocking our information. So please unlock or resubscribe to any messages that come from the school, from Remind, or from from Infinite Campus Messenger, so that you are abreast of all the things that's happening. Thank you, Dr. Harper. I think the only other question was about ensuring that the families that are opting out know that we have the scholarships. So that's not their reason for opting out.
Absolutely.
That wasn't clear on the permission slip.
In all of my years, I've only had one parent to completely opt out because she did not want her scholar to participate in anything. It was not for financial reasons. It was just a preference. So other than that, everyone that wants to participate, we've never had a student denied the opportunity to participate for any reasons that may be financial.
We start doing individual conversations as well, the closer we get to ensure that we don't miss anyone. Thank you, Dr. Harper.
Of course.
You skipped a slide. It's interesting, it's not hidden. Yes, thank you. So I just wanted to ground our work. As Dr. Harper said at the top of the meeting, our work is set in those goals. We're trying to ensure that the child gets a well-rounded experience, and we have some lofty goals around 5% increase. And so we really need the students to be present. This data was effective Sunday night because I just literally got in the building from Morningside Elementary School. So I have not had a chance to update this data, but it is from Sunday. Our attendance is around 95.5% for average daily. Our CCRPI attendance, which is dealing with chronic absenteeism, is 90.2. We understand that there are illnesses that keep children out of school. We do want to ensure that everyone else is safe. So we do understand that. I was very excited when after dealing with a lot that happened in 6th grade around those respiratory illnesses, that we were able to rebound because most kids come to school every day. So we are still at what we're trying to track at, which is above 90% in that space. Because if the students are here, we can teach them and make sure that they are ready for life, actually. So that is our attendance. And below that, you will see our behavioral data. There are always questions about if Away for the Day is working, where the behavioral infractions are occurring. So you can see that at the bottom, we've had 100 and I think it's 19 now, but it's at 16. Cell phone infractions, some of those might be, the same child doing it multiple times. So reiterate that the process is to put the cell phone in the locker and keep it away for the day. So in order to keep the behavior going the way that we want it to go, we have PBIS events. And so far we've had the staff versus basketball and the Masked Singer, and the upcoming one we have tomorrow is the Fall Festival. We're still getting, up until the end of the day yesterday, students were cashing in their points in order to participate. Please note that when students cash in their points for an event, we are still going to give points. We're not going to stop giving points until the end of the school year. So I know some scholars decide they don't want to participate because they want to save. They're scared to give their points up. We still give points after the event occurs. So they can choose to go to that event or choose to do the other pop-up activities. You don't have to hold all your points till the end. So we're excited about having our second Fall Festival. I'm sure somebody will correct me if I'm wrong. I think this is the second time we've done the Fall Festival, and the Spring Festival will be the 3rd time this year. And the kids really enjoy it. So just to ensure that parents are aware of the changes that occurred when we changed our calendar, Our winter map is going to be in December. We have opted into the spring map. The spring map is going to be in March. We felt like that data is necessary in order for us to get ready for the milestones, and you have the milestones dates there. We only do one EOC, and that EOC will start the 8th grade testing dates. As opposed to previous years, we normally start testing 6th and 8th grade on the first day of testing, which is April 27th. This year, they gave the 8th graders a couple extra days. So they're not going to start on April 27th. 8th grade testing will start on that Wednesday, which is April 29th, and continue through the testing period that next Friday. And 6th grade will be the first week, which is the April 27th through May 1st. 7th grade will be May 4th until May 8th. It is important that we don't have doctor's appointments in the morning and all the rest. We really need the students to participate and be present. Again, 8th grade testing starts for students taking algebra on April 29th, and for all other 8th graders, it will start on April 30th. The district has also created some additional supports, one of them being Talk It Out, which is a mental health text messaging platform for middle and high school students. And the passcode for the student to get in is Howard. If they are having any kind of in the moment issues and they need to talk to a mental health professional, this is a way for the student to get immediate help. So this is a new platform. Additionally, Dr. Johnson this year has been doing like a student office hours virtually a couple times a year. The next one will be on November 20th. It is in the evening. And if children are interested in participating, the QR code is there to register, and they're able to come join in a conversation and engage with Dr. Johnson directly. So for those of you who keep track of what's going on with the Department of Education, yesterday, our CCRPI College and Career Readiness Performance Index, that stands for our school data with all schools, was released yesterday on November 12th. So these are the scores. We will send out a letter by close of business tomorrow, just to explain where we are. Just wanted to give a quick overview of what has occurred. As you can see, our content mastery has increased in every subject area. So I'm very, very, very excited about that. Our progress data has increased as well. Our closing the gaps did not increase, and let me explain why. Because once you increase, then your target goes higher. And traditionally, when you have a big jump like we had the year prior, it does not continue. Typically, if you recall from 2 years ago, our closing the gap number 2 years ago was a 39. So we went from a 39 to a 90. So I'm excited that we didn't drop all the way back into the lower numbers, that we only dropped about 10 points. So I was excited about that. It's not ideal, but it is difficult to keep a closing the gap score high year on year, year over year rather. And our readiness score increased as well. As you can see there, our reading at or above did have a slight decline. No, I'm sorry. Reading at or above everything actually in that category increased. So the percentage of students as reading at or above grade level increased. Our student attendance increased. And we had a big push on attendance last year. That's what I kept preaching. So as you can see, there's a direct correlation between that attendance data point that's very deep buried into the CCRPI data and why all of these other metrics also increased. So this slide was created before the release yesterday because, you know, sometimes they say they're going to release something and I didn't know if they were going to really release it, but they did. I do want to point out again, 5-star climate rating. We are beating the odds school. And last Friday, the Superintendent Woods announced the literacy leaders and math leader schools. And we are one of 2 APS schools that are both a literacy leader school and a math leader school. So I'm very proud of our students and our staff for being able to accomplish that. And you already know all our other GMAS accomplishments, but I just wanted to put it all in one space just to remind us of the work and all the great work that's being done here by the students and the staff. So some celebrations, what's happened since we were last together, because if you recall, our last principal coffee was an invasion from the Knights. So this is our first time together since September. So since then, fall sports have concluded. We are getting ready to do winter sports. So some celebrations for sports. Our cross-country girls team was the district runner-up and 4th in the state. Our softball team, 3-peat. Our 8th grade softball girls do not know what it means to lose a softball game. So they have won 3 championships in a row every year of middle school. Ultimate Frisbee, our B team was champion and our A team was runner-up in a competition. And then volleyball was Metro Atlanta runner-up for Fulton DeKalb and Clayton counties. There was a big inter-county competition, and we made it all the way to the finals and lost in the finals. So great job, volleyball girls. STEAM update. Every grade has gone on their first STEAM school-based field trip. We are in the way of doing classroom science fair competitions, and next week those winners from the class fairs will go into the school-wide STEAM fair that will start next week. We have also been exploring some partnerships with the Beltline. If you've not noticed, the Beltline does not have any recycling bins on the Beltline. So we've been in communication with them to see, well, what can we do to improve how we handle waste on the Beltline? And the students will be coming up with some ideas surrounding that, which is in direct alignment with our STEAM theme, which is redesigning, rethinking. Come on, Ms. Moore, help me out if Dr. Griffith isn't on. Can't think right now. Well,
What's the question?
The STEAM theme.
Designing sustainability.
Sustainability by design.
Yes,
Thank
that
you.
one.
Sustainability by design. Rethinking for a better world tomorrow. The school-wide STEAM initiatives that we are continuing, and very excited about how we're handling our gardening project. We are working with UGA around that. 6th grade does composting, and we got feedback on how to better do that. 7th grade has been planting, and so we just figured out which things we're gonna plant for the winter months. And 8th grade this year is going to work on the pH of the soil conditions. So they took soil samples and will be given data readings on the pH of our soil so we can increase that. We've done some things on biodiversity and trying to increase the biodiversity on campus. So we entered data into the pollinator count system for the state. So, and we're going to continue with our recycling challenge collaboration with Novellus and the Hawks. So we're really steaming this year. So let's see. We had a couple students to do their book signing for young authors last night. And we have a spelling bee coming up on December 2nd. Those are some curriculum shout outs. And I want to say December 4th, we're having our social science fair, social studies fair. So it's a lot of things going on around curriculum and assessment. And we talked about the PBIS and the family engagement team for the school. So family engagement for the district is right now doing a survey. We've had only 43 families to complete that district family engagement survey. So we'll be sending out another reminder to get parents to complete the survey. But our internal family engagement team is organizing our first 5K for Howard. They used to have a 5K at Emmons. They would do it in the winter time. It was called Frosty something. I can't remember right now. But I'm not a cold weather person at all. So this year, we're going to keep steaming away. So we are going to do a Pi Day 5K. If you looked at your calendar for next year, Pi Day is on a Saturday, and we're going to do our first 5K at Howard on Pi Day. And so we can look at acclimated to the Frosty 5K, but right now we're going to do a Pi Day 5K. Very excited about that. So more information to come soon. You can see here the family engagement parent feedback survey that I was referencing. Its deadline is November 30th. And the Georgia Health Survey is the one I really care about because this is the one that goes to the state. This is the one that helps us to be a 5-star school. That will come out in December. And you can see our next principal coffee will be in January. And we'll be talking about scheduling and more detailed information on CCRBI. Do I have any questions?
Hey, Ms. Hollis, this is Jana Kovac. Just a quick, it's not a question, but just a quick note. I put it in the chat as well, but we need a few more 8th grade parent volunteers for PBIS Fall Festival tomorrow. The 8th grade time kind of shifted back a little bit. We're good on the other grades, but we need a few more helpers for 8th grade. So I linked the Sign Up Genius if anyone on here is able to join us. I think 8th grade starts at 1:55 tomorrow. So just sign up and come have some fun at the festival.
Thank you. Any other questions? I do want to shout out to all of our parent organizations. We've been doing a lot of work. I hope to, in January, be updating you on conversations we've been having about trying to get our field turf. So boosters and foundations have been working a lot with that. I cannot share anything with you about PSAT because I've not had a chance to review it. The data came in the end of last week, and we've been trying to make sure it gets distributed to the students. How it is used at Howard, it is not used at Howard. It is used to identify students who have potential for AP classes at Midtown. Okay, it is used for AP potential identification at Midtown. And it's really just practice other than that. If you want to come off mute to ask anything more specific. Yes, we are in the process of printing the PSAT scores so the students can bring them home. But if your student did sign up with their personal email address, they can always go into the platform and see their score live in the College Board platform. Anybody want to come off mute and ask anything? I'm just waiting for anybody to type if there were type questions needed. I don't know if there is posted anywhere. We can post it. We can get that information to you about how to go onto their College Board account if they set it up.
Thanks. Sorry, I came off
Okay.
mute. My daughter, we don't have a cell phone. And so apparently you could download the app and you could access your scores via the app, which was what all of her friends were doing. I downloaded the app, but then I was tripped up because you had to have put in a cell phone number. So I don't know if the app access of the platform is different than the sort of website access of the platform. You know how sometimes there's a difference. She did not put in her cell phone or her watch number or my number. So she only signed up with the email, which was my understanding of the process communicated by y'all to them. So I just wanted to see if there is an electronic way for us to access any of this data apart from paper scores sent home. It would be good to know how. Right now,
Yeah.
it appears we have a barrier because there's not a phone associated with her.
No, there's not a phone needed. That's why we said that you needed to get the use your email address. So if you use your email address, you can log into your College Board account as a student and get your scores. So it's not a cell phone is not needed. I guess the cell phone is needed for an app, but if you use your email address, you can download. I mean, you can go into it and get access to it that way. I'm talking like this because I'm trying to search online. There you go. Thank you. I was trying to search online to get the information for you at this time, but
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you so
can
much.
go in online. My daughter didn't have a cell phone either. I was able to see it. And for those whose parents don't know, you can also link those scores to Khan Academy, and it will create a plan to start preparing for the SAT for free. Oh, I found it. How can I access my scores? That is coming. There you go. Any other questions? I like when I can answer questions in the moment.
I
Any
don't
other
want to, oh,
Mhm.
sorry.
Go ahead.
It's okay. I don't want to tie you to it at all. But in terms of mentioning that the scores may be used for sort of identifying AP candidates, do you have any sense of whether that comes into play now, if it comes into play later at Midtown? Does Midtown get a copy of all the scores?
They would get a copy of the scores once they become a Midtown student. It does take play or have really not an effect on the 9th grade AP because that's human geography. But going forward, you'll have opportunities to take the PSAT in high school as well. So every 10th and 11th grader takes it, and then you can pay to take it as a 9th grader. Okay, great. I didn't know if that was enough, but thank you for answering in the message. Do I have any additional questions? Well, if not, I want to thank everyone for joining us to find out about what we're doing for 8th grade activities and the other things. Please, please, please complete the parent engagement survey from the district and be on the lookout for the Georgia Health Survey that we're going to blast probably weekly when that comes out, because we want to be a 5-star school again. It's kind of amazing when I get to go to the principal's meeting and say I'm the only 5-star school. Anything else? Good for all announcements. I think I said, I can't remember, I haven't eaten breakfast. Thank you for all the parents that have donated to foundations. The donor event last week was very amazing. We did it in partnership with Midtown High School. And then all the things that we're doing with PTO. Very excited about our first Color Fest. And the students seem to be excited about it. We advertised it yesterday during lunch by throwing the color packet on a teacher, and they got a kick out of that at lunch yesterday. So we're hoping, fingers crossed, for no weather issues next week. We have a very busy week. I'm sure PTO and foundation members would love volunteers to assist with this, but we have the Rising Ram Family Night on Tuesday. Then we have our Winter Sports Pep Rally on Wednesday during the day. We have our Color Fest on Thursday during the day. And then we have our Cupcakes and Caregivers on Friday for those who are interested to come socialize and get a sweet treat and allow us to show our gratitude as we lead to Thanksgiving. I don't have any other questions. I hope everyone enjoys their Thanksgiving, and see you next time.